Hey guys, welcome back to Puffalata, and welcome back to Café Enchanté. Oh my god, Canus just confessed his love to Cotonnet. It's beautiful. I could cry. I'm so happy because finally, after all of this pain and suffering and all of these horrible situations where we were getting attacked and thrown off of waterfalls and all this other stuff, it all has come to this very moment. We're gonna see what Cotonnet's response is, so I guess let's just get right into it. Oh, look at her eyes. They're sparkling. Huh? God. Oh my god, I can't. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. I'll try to tone it down. Whew. Canus tries to stop the words that spell out by covering the area where his mouth should be. But his actions further prove that what I just heard wasn't a mistake.
いや、今のはだな。こう、自然と。
Natural. I suddenly hear my heartbeat loudly. My breathing and train of thought halt. Only the sound of my beating heart. I can't see his face. However, I can understand how Canus feels right now and painfully slow. Canus, will you say something?
確かに、この沈黙はよろしくないな。天気の話で構わぬか。
Really? Because, undoubtedly, whatever's inside his chest must be the exact same warm feeling that I have.
話は終わりましたか?
Oh god!
Venia!
Oh my god, why is Venia literally here every single... They heard literally the rejection conversation and now they're hearing the love confession. How long have you been there?
まあ、答えても構いませんが、あなたが精神的な傷を負うだけかと。
No! The secondhand embarrassment is so bad. I came to Medio with such determination, yet my face turned so red out of embarrassment that I want to run back home instantly.
僕がどこまで見ていたのかはさておき、僕としては今の一幕について拍手を送りたい気分です。
Oh, Cotonnet doesn't even get to respond. Why an applause? Venia laughs bitterly at my piercing eyes, then breaks into a light smile.
いえ、本当に心からの称賛ですよ。今のは僕が知る限り初めて見るカヌスの姿でしたから、友人の端くれとしては少しばかり嬉しくもなります。
Canus and I face each other subconsciously in response to their words.
驚いたぞ。まさかお前の口からそんな言葉を聞くことになろうとは。
あなたが変わろうとしたのと同様、僕も変わろうと思ったまでです。
Venia's smiling face was much more beautiful than their usual stern, cold look.
ことね、あなたがいてくれてよかった。あなたがアンシャンテのマスターでよかった。
But... Oh...
そう、変わらなければ、変えなければいけ。
Venia? Venia's expression changes. Their eyes are filled with sorrow. Before I can ask them what's going on, they turn away from us and begin to walk. Afterwards, they say that they need to check out on the area that was gouged out of Yggdrasil for any abnormalities. Oh, I don't know who's going, whatever. After parting ways with Canus, I accompany Vania and return to Titania. I tell her that I heard everything regarding what had happened to the fairy world Medio. I tell her of my conversation with Canus.
そうか。この妖精界メディオについてのすべてを知ったか。
Titania takes a small sigh and nods with glazed eyes.
妖精殺しはこの世界の代償。そなたが知る必要はないと伏せておったのじゃが、そのせいで何やらカヌスともいさかいが起きてしまったと聞いた。言葉ばかりの謝罪ではあるが、すまぬな。
Girl, it's not your fault. Good lord. Why are you apologizing? It's not like... Oh. It's okay. I was just being nosy. There's no need for you to apologize. In response to Titania's lowered head, I wave my hand with strong conviction.
ええ、そうですよ姉さん。謝罪の必要は全くありません。むしろ感謝してもらう方が正しいかと。
なんじゃ、何やら意味深じゃが、ことね、どういう意味かわかるか？
What? I wonder what they're talking about. Vania smirks. No matter how I look at it, I must be referring to my talk with Canus. But that wasn't something worth telling everyone, so I decided to pretend to be ignorant. Besides, right now, we should be thinking about how to face the dangers Medea is threatened with. More importantly, Titania, Vania, about the problems Medea is facing. Is there any way that the people of Enchanté and I can help in any capacity?
ことね。
Canus is a very important person to both me and Enchanté. If he's in trouble, we want to be of help. Plus, Titania, Vania, simply as your friends. If there's anything I can do, I want to contribute to your cause. Having said that, I don't have any powers, so there's not much I can do.
ありがとう。異界の友人よ。わしらの世界を憂いてくれて。
It'll be okay. My regular customers are all extremely powerful. With everyone here, we should be able to find a way to tame Yggdrasil.
ああ、そうじゃな。絶望ばかりはしていられぬ。嘆くのはすべての手を尽くしてからじゃ。では、任せてばかりですまぬが、早速。
Please go rally up everyone at Enchanté.
待ってください。
Oh. What was supposed to be the rest of Titania's thought is gently cut off by Vania's voice.
ニーヤ、どうしたのじゃ？
They're facing down, looking somewhat tormented. And the words that followed did sound rather painful.
アンシャンテのみんなが揃ったところで世界中の悲劇を、妖精ぐらいを間違いなく鎮めることができるのですか？
Well, I don't know for sure yet, but...
じゃが、きっと何かしらの方法があるはずじゃ。
Vania quietly shakes their head in response to our words.
きっとではダメなんですよ。確実に、絶対に、何としてでも僕の目の前にある悲劇を拭うには一分の隙もあってはならない。たとえどれだけ最強のメンツであっても絶対の保証がなくては僕の考え以外には今さら同意できないんだ。
Okay, so what do you suggest we do? Like, it's better to get everybody here so that all, like, everybody can brainstorm together, right? Your own? As if to respond to my muttering, they position themselves between me and Titania, and stares at me dead in the eye.
ことね。今一度問わせてください。あなたはこの世界を救ってくれますか？あなたは姉さんを 救ってくれますか？たとえそれが茨の道だとして、何かを犠牲にする道だとしても。
Their eyes are unwavering. Though I don't know its true meaning, it's clear that they want us to save Titania and change the world of theirs. So, with uncompromising determination, I respond to them. I want to. I will save this world. It may sound naive, but I believe in Canus and the people of Enchanté. So, despite the sacrifices you're referring to, I want to save them.
ことね。
そうですか。どこまでもお人よしなのはカヌスとそっくりでお似合いですよ。
I'll take that as a compliment. They extend their right hand for a handshake. I smile and take their hand.
ごめんなさい、ことね。
In an instant. Oh, fuck! What's happening? With a snap of Vania's finger, they pulled Titania out from behind them, and as a replacement, I am thrown into the empty throne. Ah! And before I can realize the truth, a horrific sensation as terrifying tentacles entangle me relentlessly from all sides of the throne. Oh my god.
ことね。ことね。
I have no clue what just happened. A pale-faced Titania tries to run towards me, but Vania grabs her arm tightly and never lets go.
何をするにや。話す。ことねが。
近づかないで姉さん。あなたが近づけば計画が台無しです。
Oh my god, Vania, you bitch!
ちょっと。私が解放されたのもそなたの仕業なのか。そもそも人間の娘に世界樹の花嫁の代わりは務まらぬ。こんなことをしたところで。そなたまさか。
師弟というのは時に厄介ですね。すぐに考えていることがバレてしまうのだから。
I don't understand what your intentions are. Please explain to us who are not your siblings. Shaken by an ever-violent quake, Vania, with their usual expressionless face, speaks quietly.
このままでは琴音は死ぬ。
Excuse me?
であれば助けるでしょう、彼は。いいえ、彼らはそう何としてでも助けるはずだ。たとえそれが世界が相手でも。
Why couldn't... Oh my god, we were gonna help you in the first place!
彼らならこの不条理な世界をきっと殺してくれる。もう二度と不条理な煮えなど捧げることなどないよ。この忌まわしき世界中を殺してくれるんだ。
いや、なんということを。
そうそうです。思い切り泣いてください、ことね。カヌスにアンシャンテに届くほどに。
What the fuck, Vania? You were supposed to be friends. You were supposed to be the chosen one.
カヌスは死を告げる妖精として悲劇の目を刈り取ってきた。ですがたかが目を摘んだところで死ぬ樹木など存在するはずもない。幹を切り根を断つ。彼にしてもらいたいのはただそれだけ。
Vania smiles again, as if to hide the pain, the torment, and the conflict, with the same face that I called them a friend.
僕は信じています。彼が大切なあなたのためにこの世界中を殺してくれると。
God damn it! I knew something bad was gonna happen, but I didn't think that they were just gonna whoop toss Kotone in. Oh god.
ここかホールが開いたというのは
Just as I heard from Vania, this must be the aftermath of the wormhole. In front of me is a large hole gouged out from the trunk. Considering the size of Yggdrasil, it is a negligible wound. Regardless, it was large enough for Yggdrasil to recognize that it had been attacked.
せめてもう少しずれていればさほど刺激せずに済んだだろうが言ってもせんなきことか
As I muttered to myself, I realized something. Surrounding the gouged out bark is a tiny white powdery substance scattered about.
はいなぜこんな場所に灰が
I look around, but I can't see anything that would create this much ash. In this world of Medio, there's no such thing as fire. It looks somewhat familiar to me, but as I try to figure out what it is, my surroundings suddenly roar with life.
またか
The Yggdrasil's roar is gradually occurring more frequently. The chances of it not waking is slim to none.
そうなれば何が起こっても不思議ではないまずは琴音を返さなければ
The largest quake I've felt yet engulfs my surroundings enough to cut me off entirely.
待てお前たち下手に動くな
The fairies that were hiding in the area come rushing out, and in their path. Ah! God! Like a blooming flower, a mysterious shadow appears. Clearly not!
違うやめろそいつに近づくな
The moment the shadow engulfed her, the fairy tried to scatter, but it was taken captive and soon disappeared. What the fuck is that?
よく見ろ気配は似ていてもそいつはティタニアではない
That's definitely not Titania. She doesn't look anything like Titania. That is right. I know this person. 500 years ago, she even devoured my predecessor, Banshee. She is the embodiment of all the past World Tree brides.
ソウルイーター
What? Oh no. As soon as I recognize the threat, I sprint in to protect the fairies, the opposite of what I usually do for them. I leap in front of them to try and block the piercing shot. I managed to blow it away, but... Oh, fuck! Similar bodies immediately start to rise from the surrounding area.
数が多い
As I fight to protect the fleeing fairies, a medley of flowers begin to rain down above my head. From the flowers, I hear a familiar voice.
聞こえますか、カヌス。
ベンニーヤちょうどよいこちらも報告がある先日ホールが開いた場所の跡地にソウルイーターが現れたもはや世界中の目覚めは確実に
ええ、承知していますよ。世界中は人間という異物を取り込み、その身を守ろうと、
Oh
か
my
つてないほどの
god.
栄養を求めるでしょ
なんだベンニーヤお前は何を言っている人間を取り込んだ何が起きたいや琴音に何をしたベンニーヤ
My rage-filled screams echoes. And while my sword cuts down the enemies,
ご安心を。淡き琴音はここにいますよ。
Vinia's soft voice melted into battle.
新たなる世界樹の花嫁となって。
Oh, fuck! I didn't know that there's more enemies. Like, honestly, I was like, oh, okay, it's just, like, the tree with its tentacles. That was honestly pretty nerve-wracking in the first place. But no, now we have to have these ghost things coming up out of the ground. Ugh. Ugh. This is bad. It was a long time ago. Back when I was still living with my 2 older sisters. I don't know who's talking. I assume... Oh, this might be Vinia? The dignified oldest sister, Banshee. The kind-hearted second sister, Titania. And me, Vinia. My sister, Banshee, who was born as the Fairy of Death, fated to be feared from birth, was also a gentle sister according to us since we were all born in this world. The 3 of us were aware of our unique existence compared to the other fairies, and still, we continued to live a happy life. Our lives took a turn about 500 years ago. The fairy queen at the time was nearly dead, and Titania was chosen as the next queen. The most beautiful fairy, loved by Yggdrasil, that will unite all the fairies. This position was a highly coveted and admired position. This was no exception for me, who was still young at the time. When I heard that my sister was to become the queen, I felt nothing but pride. But in the shadows...
どうしてあの子が
One evening, I was summoned by Banshee. Without even knowing, she was pale-faced and shaking her head, while everyone else was out and celebrating their new queen.
ニーヤ、お願い。ティタニアを止めて。あの子、花嫁にはさせないで。
I couldn't understand it. Why must we be the ones to destroy her rise to glory? We should be the ones who are celebrating the most. Perhaps... Is Banshee envious that her own bloodline has taken the beloved throne of the queen? I foolishly thought so. And without asking for further details, I rejected her plea and shook my head. I remember it to this day. There was no way I could ever forget, because this was the last night I saw my sister, Banshee. But now I understand why Banshee's eyes looked so sad. Why Banshee put her life on the line to stand against this world. Now I understand. As the Fairy of Death, she inherited the knowledge about the truth of being the Fairy Queen. She knew the truth of sacrifice of the World Tree Bride disguised as a decorated position. Of course, she could have very well told Titania of this hidden truth. But perhaps she chose to throw herself away for the sake of all those living in Medio. That is why Banshee called for me that evening. Because I was the only hope to make Titania reconsider. I don't want to lose those that are dear to me anymore. I'd rather fall to disgrace than do nothing and lose them. Even if the cost of it... Oh, even if it costs the life of someone I know, someone I can call my friend. That's so bad. Oh no, I feel horrible. I understand where Vinia's coming from, because I think, like, if my family was to be taken into this position, like if my sister was to be put in this world tree throne and finding out that, like, it was sapping the life out of her, I'd probably try to stop it too. Like, I don't know. It's rough. It's a rough life. Yggdrasil eats away at my soul. There's no room for me to tremble in fear, All I feel is the extreme pain in my limbs. And at the same time, it felt as though my flesh was gradually being removed from my fingertips. And while I writhed in pain, Vania begins to explain quietly the reasons behind their actions.
きっかけはあなたから天崎島の事件を聞いた時です。
Amasaki Island?
ええ、常識外れの実力者が集う喫茶アンシャンテ。そのみんなが本気で何かを滅するとすれば、それはきっと世界が相手でも通用する。僕はそう判断しました。
In other words, Vania, instead of taming Yggdrasil, has taken me hostage and crafted a situation which will compel Canus and the others from Enchanté to fight and kill Yggdrasil. I believe that's what's going on. And if to affirm my predictions,
ことね、恨んでくれていい。同情の余地はない。けれどどうか、姉さんを救うための礎になってほしい。
in response to their sorrowful, resentful, and pitiful voice, Titania bursts out into a rage.
なんとバカなことを。それで解放されたとて、わしが喜ぶとでも思ったか。
いいえ、思っていませんよ。姉さんのことは弟である僕が一番よく知っていますから。
Oh! Titania's palm strikes her brother's cheek. But it was not enough to get them to stop. They held on tightly to Titania's arm and stared deeply into her eyes.
どうしてじゃ、兄や。わしは嬉しかった。アンシャンテへ通うようになって土産話を持ち帰るそなたが、わしとバンシーのたどった不幸に後悔と同情ばかりを重ね、自分の幸せを考えなかったそなたが、やっと友を作ってくれたと喜んでいたのに、なぜ。
確かに僕としても琴音のことは嫌いではない。ですがそれだけなんです。単に優先順位の問題ですよ。姉さんとどちらを優先すべきかなど検討する余地すらありません。
たまらんか。何が優先順位じゃ。そんなものを扱うような。
姉さん、これまで僕と姉さんはカヌスに殺させる妖精を選んできた。若い妖精ではなく長く生きた妖精を優先的に、一人ずつ誰に死を届けるのか。それこそ命に順位をつける行為。何もかも今更でしょう。
Vania's eyes are endlessly cold and calm. Changing their mind would be nearly impossible for anybody to do. Well, this is just great. This is just wonderful. God. Meanwhile, Canus is still dealing with this shit. I cut up. I cut down. I wipe out. In a single swing, I cut away 2 or 3 of them. But... oh, God. Faster than I can defeat them, even more enemies begin to appear.
くそ、キリがない。
Even while I do this, Coltone is getting her soul sucked away. I do not have time to be stuck here. I should be heading to the Nexus.
我の後ろへ下がれ。
I cannot abandon the fairies around me, and instead of them, I am the one being backed into a corner by the spirits.
くそ、
How ironic. In order to tame Yggdrasil's rampage, I need to offer the souls of fairies. Saving them here would be pointless, even counterproductive. But I can't believe I'm wielding my sword, unable to ignore the tragedies before me. It's a horrible self-contradiction.
急いでみんな逃げて！でもどこに逃げればいいの？
Even when they look at me in question, I could not give an answer. Everything is under the grasp of Yggdrasil. No, as long as this fairy world of Medio is the world tree, there is no place of safety and refuge. If we disregard the integrity of the area, a temporary safety may be viable, but if we involve Yggdrasil any further, the injured world tree will seek even more sustenance, even more fairies, and even from Kokotone.
安全な逃げ場などない。今やこの我らが立つ世界樹こそが敵なのだから。ともかくは世界樹から少しでも離れるほかない。皆ひたすらに世界樹の外周を目指せ。止まらずに飛び続けろ。誰かが食われても振り返るな。むしろその隙に一人でも多く逃げろ。
What crosses my mind is the decision I made 500 years ago. If I turned my sword now and cut down the fairies. But similarly, I recall her face. She said she wants to know me, that she wanted to be with me where I belong. She gifted me such priceless words. Her image is in my mind, in which case...
ここで我が死に逃げてどうする
A strike again to cut down a line of enemies. And while I take another stance to at least create a path.
思い出した。みんな思い出したわ。
A high-pitched voice cuts off my thought. I look up and see a trembling fairy flapping her wings. She was a small fairy without the slightest ability to fight.
あの場所ならきっと安全だわ。
安全な場所だと。
How can there be such a place? But despite fearing the Soul Eater's attack, that fairy desperately raises her voice.
だって私聞いたもの。とっても素敵な誰でも受け入れてくれる場所があるよって。あの子に淡き琴音に聞いたもの。
The fairy, while drawing a streak of shiny dust behind her, headed for a single door. A lone, decorated and heavy door buried beneath thick vegetation. I swore to return to what's behind that door.
そうよ。名前は確かアンシャンテ。
And in front of this hopeful door is a blockade of despair.
間に合わなか。
Yes! I don't know who it is, but I love whoever it is. But the foe is suddenly crushed.
おっと、いきなり修羅場に突入って感じ？
A familiar voice with other friendly voices. And we're gonna stop here. Oh my goodness. Everything is just blowing up. I'm so glad that we can end at least on this note where, like, you know, I know things are going to be okay, at least for this very current predicament. Who knows about what's going to happen to Kotone? I am genuinely worried because nobody is going over there. But we'll find out next episode. So, yep. Goodbye.